we're going to talk about something that most people prefer not to think about. A taboo, one of the few things that society has decided simply isn't done. But what if I told you that there are people who do it? And more importantly, what would happen if you, or I, ate our own feces? It sounds crazy, right? But it's a question that, deep down, many of us have asked ourselves at least for a second. Today we're going to set aside the disgust and get scientific. We're going to explore the fascinating and terrifying journey of poop through our bodies. And I promise you that the facts we're about to see will blow your mind. This isn't for the faint of stomach, but if you stick around, I promise you'll learn something you'll never forget. To start, we need to understand what poop really is. It's not just old food. In reality, it's a mixture of undigested food, remains, living and dead bacteria, dead cells from our intestines, bile, and water. Basically, it's the waste product of our internal factory. But here's where it gets crazy. More than half of the mass of poop is bacteria. Yes, millions and millions of bacteria that live in our colon. And most of those bacteria are what keep you alive. They're your gut microbiota. Now, what happens if you decide to eat it? Well, in theory, if you're completely healthy and you eat your own, you could be recycling your own bacteria. And there's a small part of the scientific community that has said that, in theory, it's not toxic to do so if it comes from a healthy individual, because the bacteria are the same ones already living inside you. In fact, there's an article mentioning that a professor at the University of Wisconsin once said it's perfectly healthy, because the potentially toxic organisms are the same ones you already carry with you. But, hold on. That's a very big in theory. And besides, this leads us to the first mind-blowing fact: fecal transplantation. There's a medical procedure called fecal microbiota transplantation. Basically, they take feces from a healthy person and introduce them into the intestine of a sick person with severe infections like Clostridium difficile. And it works. It cures infections that even the strongest antibiotics can't eliminate. It's been shown to be more effective than regular antibiotics in certain cases. But, and this is key, those feces come from a super-examined donor, and they're processed in a laboratory. It's not your gym buddy. But let's be real. If you eat your own poop, you're not in a lab. You're in your home. And what you're about to do is a disaster. Your body isn't designed to eat something it already expelled. The problem isn't your good bacteria, but the ones that shouldn't be there, or the massive amount of bacteria in a single bite. In 1 gram of feces, there are millions of bacteria. The U.S. Poison Control Centers received around 6,000 calls in 2010 related to fecal exposure. The verdict? It's minimally toxic if it's a small amount, but it can make you seriously ill. What can happen? Here comes the horror list. Number 1, pathogenic bacteria. Inside feces can live bugs like Salmonella, Shigella, Campylobacter, and the famous E. coli. What do? They give you explosive diarrhea, fever, stomach cramps, and vomiting. You can go from feeling fine to feeling like you're dying in a matter of hours. And if you get a strain of E. coli that produces Shiga toxin, things get serious, potentially causing kidney damage, something called hemolytic uremic syndrome, which can be fatal. Number 2, parasites. It's less common in healthy people, but if someone has parasites like Giardia or Cryptosporidium, you're eating them. And that means severe watery diarrhea and dehydration. Number 3, hepatitis A and E. These viral infections attack the liver and are transmitted through the fecal-oral route. So yes, eating poop is one of the most direct ways to get hepatitis. And number 4, death. And I'm not exaggerating. There have been documented cases of people who died from choking on a fecal bolus. Yes, a piece of poop got stuck in their throat and caused asphyxiation. Or the case of a woman with an intellectual disability who died from aspirating, that is, inhaling fecal material into her lungs. The body reacts with panic, the immune system goes haywire, and the result can be fatal. Now, you might be wondering, but is this common? No. In healthy people, it's extremely rare. But there is a medical term for this: coprophagia. And although it sounds like a joke, it's a real symptom in certain psychiatric disorders. The Mayo Clinic studied cases of coprophagia in patients with dementia. They found it's associated with severe neurodegenerative problems. Basically, a person with severe dementia can lose the ability to distinguish what is food from what isn't, and that's why they ingest feces. It's a behavior that caregivers must report immediately to receive medical help. There's also coprophy, which is a paraphilia, where a person derives sexual pleasure from feces. And within that community, there are those who practice coprophagia. But even in those circles, consuming feces from another person is extremely dangerous, as it adds the risk of contracting infections from the other person. And of course, we couldn't miss the modern ingredient: internet viral challenges. On TikTok, there have been challenges where people ingest feces, misrepresenting the concept of fecal transplant at home. Doctors have had to come out and warn that this is incredibly dangerous. The idea that people are doing fecal transplants at home is crazy and can cause serious harm, including the transmission of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. All right, we've reached the final part. After all of this, the question is, can you do it? Yes, technically you can. Should you do it? No, for your own good, and for the sake of your loved ones, because bacteria spread easily through contact. The conclusion is clear. Eating poop is a biological Russian roulette. Nothing might happen if it's a tiny amount and you're super healthy. Or you could end up with a level 5 food poisoning, hepatitis, or in the worst case, a horrible death from generalized infection or asphyxiation. Symptoms usually appear between 30 minutes and 4 hours after ingestion. If you notice nausea, vomiting, fever, or diarrhea, don't hesitate. Go to the doctor or call a poison control center. And well, after this journey to the darkest and most curious side of human biology, I'd love to know your opinion. Did you know about fecal transplants? Were you surprised that feces are half bacteria? Leave your questions and comments below. I read all of them. If you liked this format of curious facts and want to keep discovering the limits of science and the human body, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. See you in the next video. Take care and don't eat anything weird.